join in. We have a crazy video today. Tell them about it, Emma.
We're tier ranking everything we've read. What makes something a god tier fantasy romance to me? We're gonna find that out today.
Oh wow, great segue.
Yes. We have read more than this. The other ones are kind of young adult paranormal stuff. I don't want to count that. To me, paranormal is not as much fantasy.
We were talking about Twilight.
But we are including Bride. I don't know why.
Because Bride is that girl.
Our list goes as follows. God tier, of course, we all know what that means. Unparalleled to most romance books is the next one. Or romantasy. You know, like, maybe it's not our absolute favorite. Maybe it's in a series, but it's really hard to top it in a series. Superior, it's kind of like unparalleled.
A little bit less.
It's
superior to other ones.
Meh. Would not recommend it. That's gonna be like the 2 and 1 stars. Not good. Don't agree. We either have both read it or like maybe one of us hasn't read it. First one's Bride.
In my opinion, you want me to say me?
I know you're gonna put superior.
I was gonna go Unparalleled.
Really? Okay.
I loved Bride. I loved it.
Would I put it in unparalleled?
I put it superior because I really liked Bride, but is it unmatched for other ones? No.
Is it unparalleled to other fantasy romances? No.
But is it really good? Yeah.
It's very good though. I would put it superior.
So my girl's going superior.
Yeah.
She's that girl. We'll always say that girl.
The things I loved about this book really worked. The things I didn't like happened to be the third act breakup style of thing. That's what I didn't love.
Next one is One Dark Window. I'd say it's pretty much unparalleled. Because it's so much more different. I wouldn't say god tier because it's not anything like Akamov or anything. But it's pretty great. I fear she ate
literally. One Dark Window is not as good as Two Twisted Crowns, which that's how it should be.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
It should always be getting better.
I love that it was a duology, so I think I'd put it unparalleled. Two Twisted Crowns, it made me feel everything.
Same, and I did cry, and I don't cry.
I feel like there was enough romance to it. There was enough adventure. There was enough high stakes. It's kind of a perfect book. I would put it almost god tier.
I do unparalleled or god tier. I liked it a lot, and I've never felt like that for a fantasy book.
Yeah, I still think about it. Yeah. And certain things in my life, I'm like, oh, that reminds me of that.
Dang it.
Divine Rivals?
I have not read this. Emma has read both.
Well, the first one, I put a 5-star for it because I thoroughly enjoyed it and I thought the ending was really good. In relation to the rest of these, I would probably put it in meh.
Alright.
Meh.
Ruthless Vows.
I think it's because it's a cozy fantasy. Like, nothing crazy happens in this book. But I did like it for what it was. Ruthless Vows, would not recommend. It was a terrible sequel. Next one, The Winter King. You didn't read it. This one? I still think about this book. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I think about it randomly, and I'm like, that was such a
crazy ride.
It's like a fantasy book. I mean, clearly there's romance to it, but not in the way that
romance.
No, it's honestly not the subplot. There was tons of romance to it, but there was also tons of action-packed moments. It was like a Game of Thrones level style book with high stakes in the same kind of way, like a Winter King and a war and stuff going on. I would put it in superior. The Bridge Kingdom. I'll let you talk about this one.
Meh.
Meh.
It wasn't anything that I super loved. I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was anything crazy. I just didn't believe the romance.
On to Throne of Glass. I think Throne of Glass is a romantasy series. I think it has just enough romance. And romance is a focus in every single one of these books. At least a couple or two or whatever. Sometimes you have all the couples going on in the books. So, Assassin's Blade. You know where I want to put it? Meh? Yeah. As far as a fantasy romance goes, meh. Without spoiling anything, the romance in this book that happens, I thought it was just kind of jumped into by the end. It was kind of like they had like it was very one-sided. I felt like they were kind of enemies the whole time, and then all of a sudden it was like, well, duh, I like you. So, meh.
Throne of Glass is the next one. I would say this one is meh.
Yeah, meh.
As a romantasy?
Yeah, meh. That's Dorian mostly for her in that book, right? Yeah, this one was so wishy-washy. She kept flipping so much in this one. So meh. Crown of Midnight, though? Say what you want about Kale. I kind of liked her and Kale. Not superior, I put it in meh. Or would you put it lower?
As a romantasy or just as a book?
As a romantasy. I feel like this has a lot of romance for her in a pivotal moment in what she likes in a person. And yeah. Heir of Fire.
I mean, not a lot of romance is happening.
Yeah. I mean, this is a good building block for the rest of the series, but as far as a romantasy goes, it probably would not recommend. If you're looking for a romantasy, this would not be it. Queen of Shadows?
I would say this one, I'd say it's probably unparalleled.
Oh. For the romance.
Oh, I'm thinking like as
As
both.
a story.
As both.
No, I'm thinking...
The romance and the fantasy part.
I'm thinking... Okay, well, yeah. It has perfect amount of romance to it.
It's very balanced.
Perfect amount of fantasy. So
Friendship,
action-packed.
everything.
Friendship, yeah.
So
I found family vibes. So yeah, I would say unparalleled. Yeah, definitely.
Where Air of Fire has more of the fantasy going on.
It does. Empire of Storms I'm not finished with. I'm doing the tandem read right now. So for both of these, as far as romance goes, I think Tower of Dawn has more romance to it than the Empire of Storms book does. And I really like it. I like the romance that's happening in it. Empire of Storms, I don't know if it's going to get more romancy. I am liking Lord and Lead.
Yeah. But these I feel like are more fantasy driven than they are
But
romance.
I'm liking that there's a good balance of romance, especially in Tower of Dawn. Say what you want about Kale. His story arc in this book with these people, I like the growth, I like the slow burn, I like the enemies to lovers aspect of it. I really like it.
Yeah.
In terms of a fantasy romance. Empire of Storms, not a lot of romance is happening.
She would put it as meh.
I put it in meh, and I'd honestly put Tower of Dawn, well, we can leave it at meh. Because as a book right now, I don't think it's a superior book or anything.
Yeah.
Okay, Crescent City.
She's read these, not me.
I would not recommend. I don't think her and Hunt... Yeah, both. The first one is better than the second one to me. The romance is barely happening in this first book. And by the time it does happen, there's no payoff. So I wouldn't even recommend it. And then the second book, there's more payoff. I just didn't like it very much. So we're going to put it in would not recommend. And I never read the third, so. The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Would not recommend. Would you?
I've never read it.
That's right. Yeah, I didn't finish it. I need to finish it. I read up I said I wasn't going to put DNFs in this. Okay, this is my one DNF I included by accident. I read enough of it that the romance to me was not romancing.
Yeah.
I know people say it's a great slow burn, but I felt like there was no build up between the two characters. From Blood and Ash, let's do something you've read. Do Fourth Wing.
No, do the next one.
Okay, so from Blood and Ash, I really liked this book. I won't be finishing the series, but this book by itself, I really like. Plenty of romance. Oh, what did I just tell you we were watching that was just like this? It felt like
House of the Dragon.
Oh yeah, House of the Dragon.
Where do you mean put it?
Season 1. Between Rhaenyra and Kristen Cole, her knight, does that not give off the same vibes as from Blood and Ash? It just felt like I was watching it manifest into a movie. Their romance, I'm going to put them in superior. I liked the slow burn of it all. I like that she's a maiden and it's kind of this forbidden thing. I love a guard trope, you know, where they're your protector in a way.
You would be into that.
Why?
You would be.
Why?
I don't know, you're just so like... You like the Daddy Kate type.
So?
You're just so typical. Like, you like the Hound a lot.
Yeah. I love a protector. What can I say?
Yeah, and you love the Witcher, that type.
Yeah, I love that vibe. I like that the girl's also powerful, though.
And you love Joel.
Okay, and... Okay, I liked Hawk in this book. He was great. I liked their banter. Fourth Wing.
God tier. Especially the first one. It's why he's like, I'll be taking over.
I know. Stop.
Got me beat.
Don't make me reread Fourth Wing right now. Because I would.
We could do a whole rereading vlog.
We should. There's something about this book. There's crack in it or something. I don't understand not liking it. I know some of it can feel immature. But I was hoping that that would mean... Throughout the books, we're going to see maturity.
Iron Flame, I would put in meh.
Definitely meh.
Because this was just kind of a letdown compared to all the stakes and everything that you have from Fourth Wing. And the romance was romancing at the end of Fourth Wing. So you're like, ah. This book, you're like, oh. I mean, a lot of important things happen. But
yeah,
it was kind of like the Air of Fire.
Yeah, I think I'd have a newfound appreciation for it when I've read more. But right now, I just...
Because then you'll be like, oh my god, you talked about that in Iron Flame. And it's, yeah.
Okay. Oh. ACOTAR, though?
ACOTAR, the first one, I would say superior.
I put it in unparalleled.
Really?
I haven't found anything that makes me feel the way this first book did. Even though it's about Tamlin, I loved her adventure from human life to fae life. The stuff she goes through here and the things she learns about. She's so smart. You get to see her in her true environment of being, not having to be a hunter anymore and then all of a sudden having to use her skills. I love that. And then the trials at the end of this book, those are god tier. That whole Under the Mountain scene makes this book unparalleled.
Akama.
God tier.
God tier.
From the beginning page.
Light work, no reaction.
God tier, yeah, it really is.
We don't need to say much. Everybody who knows. Reese is on top. Would you put A Court of Wings and Ruin?
As far as the romance goes, I wasn't feeling it in this book as much as I was Akama. But I did like this book. I would put it in superior. This was my first Sarah J. Maas trilogy or whatever, so this book was shocking to me, the things that happened. The more I've read her other books, they all are carbon copies of each other. So if you've read any one series by her, you're going to be spoiled for all of her other books, I would say. Stuff that happens in this book definitely has happened in her other books, and the ending is no different from any other book of hers. She loves to use the same kind of formula. Yeah, this like shocking ending to then turn around and take that away, you know? This book is just, I'm going to say superior because I read it first, but if you're going to ask me about her other books, that might be why they rank lower. Silver Flames?
I'd put this in superior.
Yeah, I do too.
I really liked Silver Flames. If you haven't read it, I would very much recommend listening to it because it's very good if you can. It's very good.
I still don't forgive Nesta. I don't. I don't love her at all. I can't believe you would treat Feyre that way. Just because you did a couple nice things, I'm like, great. But you basically you were so shitty to people, and then the way to get over that, you just kind of replaced those people and made a new life. And I was like, whew, you know, I'll just avoid the people I did wrong and start a new life. And it makes me sad. While it was a good book of friendship, I just wish she could have had that friendship with her family. Her real family. And then also made friends along the way.
Anyway, the next book is The Crown of Oaths and Curses. I don't like this book enough because I don't even remember the freaking name, if that tells you anything. There's no romance in this book. This book, count your days, because I did not like it. That book sucked. And the guy, mainly because of the guy, had no redeeming qualities. And then my home sis was doing everything, and he had no remorse for her. So.
A vulgar gesture.
So, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done with conversation.
Would not recommend.
And it was so long. My next book that I've read, because this mother ever DNF'd it, it's Powerless. I would give this...
Don't agree.
We can put it in, we don't agree.
Why?
I put this in, as a romantasy, I put it as meh, because it was lacking on the fantasy part. The romance, yes. Or not romance, but pining, I'm going to put that under romance. Yeah, it had a lot of romantic pining. And like, nice to throw all that. The fantasy part, girl, slim to none. I'll put it in meh.
Heartless Hunter. It's very similar to Powerless in a way, but not the banter stuff. But I found Powerless banter to be cringy. I'm gonna put it in superior. It was a really good fantasy romance book. Plenty of tropey things that happen like Powerless. Suspenseful ending, but nothing that hasn't been done before, you know? The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy. This is kind of a cozy fantasy. You're enemies in real life, but you send letters back and forth and you actually like each other kind of vibe. Lily hates this style of romance, so you would definitely not agree, but you haven't read it. So, I like it. I think I should put it in meh. It was fine, but I don't need it. Like, that's not what I look for in a fantasy romance. The Throne of the Fallen. This is such a cool concept to me, and I really like it was like an enemies to lovers kind of way, but then reluctant allies because they realize they have to go in on this game together to solve the mystery. And you go on an adventure together. And do you know that movie, Percy Jackson, the first one? I know it's not politically correct based on the books, but the actual movie where they go on this adventure together, that was the vibe of this book. And there were so many twists and turns, and the romance was great. And there was a little bit of fake dating in the beginning and Regency era, and you moved to the underworld worlds, and you had to play this game, and it was really good. Superior.
The next book is Shadow and Bone. I'm the only one who's read it. This was lacking on the romance side, even though I love the Darkling and everything. But you got maybe like one kiss. But the fantasy part is very YA, so it's not anything crazy. I put this in meh. I rated this, I think, 3 stars all the time. I didn't hate Shadow and Bone the book, but I just love the show so much more. There's such a difference in the two, especially between Ben Barnes and the Darkling in this, because I'm like, what, that happened? No way. When my home sis in the show kissed him first, it wasn't that way in the book, and I was like, ew, what's going on here?
Right.
So I didn't hate that, a book, but it was definitely different. Shatter Me, do we agree?
On the first book, are we going to agree?
Probably.
I would put it in would not recommend.
Oh, wow. I put it in meh.
We don't agree.
Because I think Shatter Me, it's like a fun dystopian book if you're looking for that. Like, especially when you're younger, and I think it'd be something you'd eat up in 2014.
I never understood the plot. And then by the end, when you finally kind of figure something out, it's just over. There was no plot, to be honest.
Emma's read A Faint in Blood. I'm listening to the audiobook of it. I'm like 19 chapters in. So that's like 30%.
This style of fantasy romance, to me, I'd put it in superior. You've read this. As far as the romance, fantasy aspects,
Where?
fantasy, I mean, it was fairy tale.
Low-key, I liked the other prince. What was his name?
What is
Jax
his
was
name?
boring.
Apollo.
I liked Apollo.
Jax gets more interesting as the books go on.
Apollo in first book? First
Apollo
Dance.
in A Curse for True Love. Why would you do that to him? Anyway,
I put this in meh. As a romantasy.
yeah, I put it in meh.
Very YA, all that.
The next one is better, but not by much. You know, I think it could still go in meh. What do you think?
I've not read it.
That's right. I can't consult her. Okay, well
You see how many you've read more than me of romantasy? That's what I was telling you. I've barely read any.
You need to read more. A Curse for True Love I'm going to put and would not recommend. That was a terrible end to a trilogy. Especially when your second book was better than your first. It's supposed to go up, and you did not go up.
You went down.
I feel like we've read more than this, but I guess not. Like, when I think of fantasy romance, I'm like, man, I've read the mains.
These are the main ones.
I know, but I want to read more. So, this is what we've got going on for us.
Yep, so God tier, pretty well known for us.
I need books that feel like those books at all times.
But are unparalleled? Yeah.
Yeah, like basically superior and up, I want books that feel like these books.
Yeah.
Action-packed, clearly, from beginning to end. Found family aspects in all of them. Honestly, yeah.
Come on, chop chop, everybody.
Yeah, get to writing, make it like that.
Thank you guys for watching today's video. We'll see you next time.
Bye! Bye!